Hey y'all, welcome to the Max. Today you're getting a 2-for-1 deal. So I'm gonna take y'all along with me today as I go out and harvest some, but before I do, I'm going to be doing some homemade sourdough bagels, and I'm gonna share the recipe with y'all that I'm using. This is the first time I'm using this recipe, so I'm gonna let y'all know if we like it or not. This is from Lisa over at farmhouseonboone.com. I'm gonna be following her recipe today, and I'll also attach it down in the description for y'all. I'm crossing our fingers and hoping we like it. I will keep y'all posted. I think it's gonna be good though, because I've used many of her recipes before and they have all been a hit. I'm also gonna be going out and getting some jalapeno peppers. This is a major hit around here, mostly for Colby and Adam. I'm gonna be sharing with y'all how I make my jalapeno poppers. It is definitely one you wanna stay tuned for and catch that recipe. I really think y'all are gonna like it, especially if you like jalapeno peppers. So here goes nothing. This is one of my favorite times about summertime, is going out to harvest the things that you've worked so hard for. So today, a couple of things I know I'm getting for sure is calendula flower. I have it growing absolutely everywhere. Calendula, I will take a quart jar. So with calendula flower, there's two ways to dry them. You can either wash them and put them on a piece of wax paper and use them in your oils fresh, or you can take them and put them on like a couple of paper towels and let them completely dry on the paper towels. That's probably what I'm gonna be doing with mine, because I have some older ones in a jar that I wanna use first. Then I will just take some olive oil and put it over in my flowers and let it sit, probably in the greenhouse, because you want that heat to really help release some of those medicinal properties from your flower. Once my oil has sat for a couple of weeks, I will strain the flowers off. Sometimes I keep those to use in soap and sometimes I do not. Then that oil I usually use to make salve with. Now, I have a video on how to make homemade salve. I really treat it like I would Neosporin, except for it's a homemade cleaner version. Y'all be sure to check that video out. It is on the Max channel, and it is homemade salve that is good for your skin. That's why I grow calendula flowers. I also have lots of peppers here, some bell peppers that are ready to be picked right here. These are absolutely beautiful. This one I am going to let go to seed. You see it's got damage on the bottom. I'm actually just going to let this thing completely mature out before I harvest it. This one is absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna be harvesting it. And for my jalapeno poppers, I'm gonna need some jalapenos. So I'm gonna be picking those, as well as all the calendula flowers you see over there where Jenny's just walked from. I need to collect all of those. And I have some chamomile that's ready, and some feverfew. If you're not really familiar with those, we'll talk about those in a little while, but those need to be harvested as well. So today is going to be a quick harvest day. It's 9:30 outside and the sun is already absolutely beaming. I was out here at 6 this morning, weeding the strawberry bed, weeding the greenhouse. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the weeds that are on my fabric cloth beside the beds where I'm at. Of course, you can see we're having major problems with this area. This is the only area where the weed fabric just did not do great. We're having major grass issues on here. So what I did is I come in early this morning and sprayed 2 bottles of vinegar around all of these beds on this weed fabric. Then I'm going to come back and cover it with our feed sacks. I'm probably going to do a layer, and if I have enough, I'm going to do another layer. Then I believe what we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and bark this area because when we created this area, we really laid it on nothing but pure yard grass, which was kind of our fault. We should have at least come in with a tractor and pushed some of the dirt back. We just didn't do that. We just laid the weed fabric right down, which is partially our fault. You live and learn. The other areas that we had already been using, that was more or less our high traffic area, of course you can see we're not having that problem. It is just right here. So I'm going to be working on that this next week of trying to fix this area. You can see the grass is literally just almost overtaking it. So I did come through this morning and spray all of this really heavy with vinegar. I'm going to spray it at least one more time, maybe 2 more times before I start laying those feed sacks down. Once I lay the feed sacks down, which is free, we have a couple of piles of extra bark left. Aiden and I will come out here and lay some bark down on those bags to help with that grass suppression. These are raised beds, so I don't have, they are about up to past my knee, but not quite up to my hip. So that really does help with the grass that is was being thrown around in like if you had a lower bed, for example. I'm not dealing with as much grass in those beds, which is a good thing. But I know if we have to come through and weed eat really close to those beds, obviously it's going to throw some in the beds, which is why I'm trying really hard to keep the grass back more, so we're not having to weed eat as close to the raised beds, and I won't have as much grass going in.
Where'd that big one go? Oh,
yeah, pick it. Look, pull them up. If you take them and lift them up, there you go, they'll snap right off. Yeah, there's some. Look, if they're little, like these little ones, don't pick these little ones, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Those are a little bit too little. We want these big ones like this.
Can I get these?
Yes. Those that are big like that, like as long as your finger, look, just take them and pull them right up. If you take them and pull them up, they'll snap right off, okay? I will say, don't pull these off. If you're interested in growing calendula, I want to show you why. If you roll those petals back just a little bit, you can see those little curved shaped things right there. Those are actually seeds. So if you let this go and you let this die back, under those little petals are the seeds. You can take those once they're dried. See those little seeds in there? You can take those once they've dried and start you a whole new plant. They end up looking like this. Here's one of my calendulas, one of my first ones I planted. And you can see I just let this piece of flower go to seed, and that's what you ended up, that's what your calendula flower seed looks like. Woohoo, I found a good one. Here's one that I let die back. There's your seeds right there. So I would just, if I wanted to collect these for next year, there's my calendula flower seeds right here. And they're dried back. These would be perfect to start plants. And to think I wouldn't be able to show you this, there you go. Calendula flower seeds right there. So here's my haul so far. Jennings wanted a couple of carrots to eat with lunch, so we pulled up a few. I'll clean those up and slice them. We'll eat for lunch. Very, very nice sized bell peppers. You can see I have a couple that have bad spots, but it won't be any problem for me to cut that off. I'm going to dehydrate these or put them in the freeze dryer. I'll just cut the bad spots off. I believe this is the only one that had a bad spot that we harvested today. Very nice size. Jalapenos are down here in the bottom. We're gonna start peppers in a little while, poppers. This is feverfew. This is a very, very nice harvest of calendula flower too, as you can see. Feverfew, if you would have guessed it, yes, I'm growing it for fever. That is one of its medicinal properties, is to induce sweating, which will lower the body's temperature. We'll talk more about that as we go. Y'all have seen me harvest it. The next step is washing it and drying it. And when I make my tincture, y'all are gonna come along with me. Same thing with calendula, which this is really, really easy. I'm just gonna wash those, let them dry. Once they're dried for a couple of weeks, just lay it on the counter, or I can put them in my dehydrator. They go right over into a jar. I really like the appearance of them when they air dry though, because the dehydrator takes the liquid out of them so quick, it causes them to shrivel up a lot. So I actually really like to do it natural. It's very, very beautiful calendula. And we will put these over in some olive oil. They'll sit for a couple of weeks in the greenhouse. Then I'll strain this off. I think I just got a bug up my nose. And just like I mentioned to y'all earlier, that oil is used in my recipe that I use for salve. It is on the max. Y'all be sure to check it out if you're interested. It's there. I've already done a video on it. Now I need to go get my chamomile. This is something that I really like to do with upset stomachs. If I have a child that may be a little nauseous, it maybe is experiencing diarrhea, just general upset, ill, chamomile tea is a wonderful tea to make. And as you can see, I have lots of chamomile here. And I'll be picking all of these flowers. I have more chamomile that is growing right here. So in the next several weeks, I'll be harvesting off of those plants as well. You know, I just listed a couple of ways to use the things that I'm harvesting today. Herbs actually do way more than just one thing. Yes, this is one plant, but it can be used in many, many ways. And that's why in my journey, I have used herbs for the past couple of years, but I do have a really hard time telling people all of the different ways, because it is so hard for me to remember all of those different ways. And that's why really books are key. I have to refer to my books often. Y'all heard me talk about that. I refer to my books often to look up all the different uses. A lot of times it helps too if you have a symptom that is going on and you want to know what to use. Often it is very beneficial to go look up that symptom and see what herbs help. And a lot of times there are a lot of different herbs that help the same symptom. So that is, again, another reason why it is so difficult to memorize all of the different herbs that can treat one thing and all of the different elements that one herb can treat, because the spectrum is so broad and they can be used in such beautiful ways. Again, another reason why I just really recommend books. I can often just run into my book room, whip out the book, see what I need to use. Many books already have recipes in them, so if you feel stressed about not knowing which herb to use or how to use it, in my Amazon, the reason why I did an Amazon storefront was to put all of those books together that I have for you guys, so that you can see all of the different books that I have and that I use. I've posted the ones that I really like and that I refer to often, so that you guys can benefit from them as well. I hope that my bagels turn out good today. This is the first time I've ever attempted to make bagels, period, much less sourdough. But I will tell y'all, you know, I'm always all about sharing information that I like. farmhousehomeboone.com. I have used many of her recipes before. I consider her to be like the sourdough queen, all things sourdough. She uses all different types of flours. There are so many different recipes. Y'all will also really like her YouTube channel. If y'all do go over and check her out, be sure to tell her that Misty from the Mac sent you guys. She has a really nice blog and her website is amazing. Even if you don't have sourdough, she'd still tell you how to start sourdough. I used her method years ago when I started making my sourdough. I have not found anything yet that I didn't like. Maybe some things that I messed up because I didn't measure right, but that wasn't her fault, that was my fault. Y'all know I don't like to measure. So that is farmhouseonboone.com. Hopefully my bagels will turn out good. This is pineapple sage. I'm gonna be taking a couple of cups of this. I will put it on heat with some honey and a little bit of water. Essentially, I'm gonna be making like a syrup and mix it with water. This is probably one of my favorite flavors that I have from all over the homestead. I really, really, really like the pineapple sage, even though it's full of little spiders that I'm gonna shake off right there because I want them to stay and eat the bugs, but I don't want them in my syrup. Pineapple sage, I'm gonna take a couple of cups of this. I actually thought that I had lost this plant. I had several of them planted and we had such a cold winter. I didn't see any signs of it coming back and I was very, very upset. And one of my multiple plants came back. So I have taken cuttings from this plant to ensure that I have multiple plants going into winter. I am going to keep a couple of those in my greenhouse because I don't want to lose this plant. They do cuttings really easy. So I've got a couple, this is probably about a cup and a half. I might pull off one more. And this is gonna make a fine syrup. I will not be using sugar today. I'm gonna be using honey. And we can drink on this through the day as we get hot. It's very refreshing, which is one of the reasons why I absolutely love the pineapple sage, because it is so refreshing. And I wanna show y'all my harvest on my chamomile because I did get a very nice harvest. I'll be adding all of this to my stock that I already have. So all in all today, I had a pretty good haul of what I'm gonna be taking inside. It is one of my most favorite times to come out and gather the things that we've been working so hard for. You took down all the clothes from your closet?
Oh my goodness.
Why did you do that?
What? My dear.
You gonna clean this up?
Yeah.
You made a mess. What did you do? You made a mess. You took all your clothes down. They didn't just fail, you took them down.
No, my day.
Are you gonna put them back up?
Yeah. Oh,
All of them?
day. I know. Day.
We were gone for like 5 seconds. How did she do all this in 5 seconds?
Levy, you want me to tell your daddy?
No.
Look, Jennings is perfect. Look at his side. His is like perfect. And look at her.
Ma.
Who did it?
Me?
All right, y'all try it.
You're Aiden.
I know. What do you think, Aiden?
They're good.
They taste like your ones we get from the store?
They do.
I love it.
You love them? You love them too, Jenny?
Yeah, I love these.
What do you think, Salem?
They taste like a pretzel, and I love pretzels, so they're good.
You think they're like a soft pretzel too? Well, that really wraps us up for today. And as you can see, we've had a very successful day on making bagels, harvesting all of the wonderful things from outside. We also made jalapeno poppers. I hope you enjoyed that on the video, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment and tell me what you think below. Happy homesteading.